Hello folks, welcome to the fourth edition of Options Talk. This is a conversation between me and AP on everything related to options. So today I will be talking about volatility skew and how you can measure it and how you can use this in your trading and what it tells about the options. So this is a standard disclaimer. So it's futures, stocks and options trading involves substantial risk. So please do your due diligence before taking any trade. So before going to volatility skew, what is volatility smile, right? And before going to that, we have to understand what is implied volatility. So implied volatility of an index or stock is derived from the underlying IVs of the put and call options at various strike prices. And IV of an option is a proxy of the expensiveness or cheapness of the option. So if the option is very expensive, then the IV of that particular option will be very high. And similarly, if the options are cheap, then the IV of that particular option will be low. So here, this is a typical plot of the IVs on the y-axis and the strike prices of the calls and put options here. And if you plot the IV versus the strikes of the various options, then you will see a smile-like curve of the implied volatilities, wherein the out of the money or in the money calls are expensive, while at the money strikes and up the money calls and puts are cheaper, relatively cheaper. And similarly, out of the money calls and in the money puts are expensive than the at the money calls and put options. So this is a theoretical assumption that when there is a perfect volatility smile, you'll see a curve like this, and a equidistant put from the money strike and a equidistant put and equidistant call should have same price and same volatility. Okay, so then you will call this as a volatility smile. Now, when something different happens to that of volatility smile, then we call it as a volatility skew. So what is volatility skew? It's an imbalance or the skew in the implied volatilities of the out of the money puts and out of the money calls. So here we are not considering in the money puts and calls because there can be liquidity issues. So here we will only consider out of the money puts and out of the money calls. So if there is an imbalance in the IVs of the out of the money puts and out of the money calls, then it's called volatility skew. The volatility skew tells us about the relative demand of the put options versus call options. So if the put options are more expensive than the call options, then there is a skew. If the IVs of the equidistance out of the money calls, so this is an example, if the IVs of the equidistance out of the money calls is higher than equidistance out of the money put options, then volatility is skewed towards the upside, right? Because the calls are expensive than the put options. So you will see a volatility curve like this. I'll show you the curves.
That means there is more demand for calls, right?
Yes, exactly. So there are two kinds of volatility skews, and volatility skew is also called as a volatility smirk, as opposed to a volatility smile. So there is a reverse skew, and in the reverse skew, what happens is that your out of the money puts are expensive than the out of the money calls. And in this case, the equidistant, okay, this if you look at the distance from the at the money strike or the even spot price, the put option is more expensive and therefore has high IV value compared to a call option, equidistant call option. And this is called reverse skew or the downside volatility skew. And similarly, in the forward skew, the equidistance out of the money call options are expensive than the equidistance out of the money put options. And as you can see, this curve, there is a skew in the curve compared to the volatility smile. So this is called forward skew and this is called reverse skew. So why this happens? Like why there is a reverse skew and why there is a forward skew? So let's look at the reasons behind that. For example, why reverse skew happens? So this is a option chain of Nifty 25 June expiry. If you look, this is an example here. If you look at the put option, out of the money put option and out of the money call option. So this is a equidistant put option and equidistant call option. So 250 points away and 250 points away. The spot price is around 10,244. So as you can see here, the IV of the put option is higher, 33.76, while the call option is only 26.99. So huge difference in the IVs. And you can also see the price is less for the call option compared to the put option. So as I showed here, the call option has high IV, low IV compared to the put option. So what are the reasons for them? So by default, most market participants are long stock, right? If most people are long, even in Indian market, most people are long because that's the idea behind the stock market, to buy and hold for longer term returns. And in order to protect their downside for these long stocks, the investors buy put options to hedge their portfolio. So there is a huge demand for the put options for the purpose of hedging their portfolio. So and the another reason is that many investors use covered calls. So what happens is that they have the stocks, long stocks, and in order to reduce the holding of the stocks, the cost of holding of the stocks, they sell out of the money calls. So if they do it continuously, over the time, the cost of holding those stocks reduces because they get the premium for selling the calls. So the call options are cheaper because more and more investors are selling the out of the money calls. And the third reason is that when the markets crash, they take the elevator, which means they go down very fast. And when they rise, they take the stairs. So for that reason, when this happens, there's a huge demand for puts. And because of the huge velocity in the drop of the market, there's a huge demand for the puts than when there is demand for the calls when it goes up. So these reasons, these factors are responsible for making the puts expensive and therefore high IV compared to the calls. So there is a low IV in the calls. So
Just a small query, Raghunath.
Yes.
Yeah, in a confirmed bear cycle, I mean, something, let's say what happened in March, is it exactly
Yes.
the opposite?
No, this we are talking about reverse volatility skew. This happens most of the time. So like
Yeah, I'm talking about opposite of this. Is it true in a bear market?
in the bear market, this will be even more pronounced actually.
Yeah,
The reverse
exactly. Okay.
volatility skew even more pronounced because there will
Okay.
be even more demand for puts compared to the
Correct.
calls.
Correct. Got it. Yeah.
Okay. And let's look at the forward volatility skew. So what are the reasons for forward volatility skew? So here is an example of Bharti Airtel, which has high volatility skew towards the upside. So the calls are more expensive than put options. So this is the option chain for the Airtel, and the spot price is around 575. This is for the June. So if you take equidistant call option and equidistant put option and call option, So 575 plus 15, 590, and 575 minus 15, so it's 560. So these are the
Just one more
equidistant.
question.
Yeah.
When you say equidistant, why 560 and 590? Why not 540 and 600? I'm just asking.
Yeah,
Yes.
it can be anything. It can be anything.
So it will be the same.
Yes.
Okay.
So I will also show the both. So here the example I'm showing you is a 561. The put option IV is 36 and the call option IV equidistant call option is 47. So there's a huge volatility, high volatility in the call option compared to put option. Now let's take 540 for example, right? So for the 540, the put option IV is 40, and if this is 540 means
you have to take 610.
Yeah, 610. So 610 is 52. So almost 12. So it's even more pronounced as you go, if you look at the curve, right? So
yeah, it becomes sharper.
Yeah, even sharper as you go out of the money.
Yeah.
So what are the reasons? So main reason, actually main and only the reason is that when a stock is extremely bullish due to an expected event or then an event has happened or there is some news, then it creates demand for the call options. For example, in the Bharti Airtel, the event in this case was the court case that is happening regarding the payment of the spectrum charges. So there is a expectation that the payment of the spectrum charges will be staggered. So for that reason, there's extreme bullishness in the Bharti Airtel, and for that reason, you are seeing this extreme bullishness, and that makes the calls more expensive than the puts. So that's why you see forward volatility skew. Now, how do you measure this volatility skew in general? Now, if I on the options on the Opstra, if you go, we have a table where we show the volatility skew. So what we are doing is that basically we're measuring the difference in the 25 delta or 20 delta option. So what are the difference between them in the volatility of those options? A 25 delta put option and 25 delta put or call option, and we measure the difference in their IVs. And there is a formula for that, and that's how we measure the volatility skew. So if this is positive, right, then we call this a reverse skew, which means put options are more expensive than the call options. And this in the Nifty, you will see this as positive, which means there is always a reverse skew because there is hedging. All the time hedging is going on. So put options are more expensive. And then Bharti Airtel, as you can see, is minus 35, which means the call options are more expensive in this case. Okay, so that's how we measure the volatility skew. So what does volatility skew tell us about? It tells the direction in which the risk or the opportunity is anticipated the market participants. So if there is a risk on the downside, you will see reverse skew, which means puts are more expensive than call options. And if there is a bullishness or people see an opportunity on the upside, then you will see call options more expensive than the put options. Then you see a forward skew. And there is a relative expensiveness of the call spreads and put spreads. When there is forward skew or the reverse skew, it tells that the call spreads would be more expensive than the put spreads and vice versa. And volatility also tells us that there are certain strategies which are more favorable to do when there is volatility skew. For example, ratio spreads and jade lizard spreads are more favorable when there is a volatility skew. For example, call ratio spreads are more favorable when there is a forward skew. That is when call options are more expensive than put options. So the example of the perceived risk or opportunity in this stock, right? The volatility tells about this. So a reverse skew or downside volatility skew in the underlying stock tells us that market participants are anticipating a risk to the downside. And a forward skew or upside volatility skew in the underlying tells us that the market participants are pricing in a move to the upside. Now, in the reverse skew, puts have higher IV value and expensive compared to call option. And due to this, put spreads are cheaper than call spreads. So let's take an example. This is a put spread. These are debit spreads. So we buy a 10,250 put option and sell a 10,000 put option. And the difference between them, the spread is 91 rupees. And the risk reward for this is 1.74. We risk 1 and we make 1.74 if it works in our favor. And for the same spread, okay, width for the same width of 250 between the options for the call option, you can see here the spread is 117. So this is more expensive compared to the put spreads, and your risk reward is also very less. So this is what your reverse skew tells us about, that the put spreads are more expensive than the call spreads. Now, similarly, forward skew also tells that the calls have higher IV compared to puts, and call spreads will be cheaper than put spreads. So the Bharti Airtel example, the width is 10 here, 580 call we buy, 590 call we sell. The spread is 4.5 and risk reward is 1.22. And the same with the put options, we get the width, the spread is 5 and the risk reward is 1. So call spreads are cheaper than put spreads when we have forward skew. So these are and there are many different trades, option strategies that are there, which I have not covered here because of the time shortness of time. That target these volatility skews, whether if we think this skew is going to go up, there are certain strategies to target them. This we might cover in some future options talk. So this for volatility skew, I'm done for the volatility skew. If there are no questions for volatility skew, I will move forward. AP, any more questions?
Yeah, I think that's very clear. Okay. Quite clear.
Great. So we'll talk about follow up the last week's trade idea. So we gave a bear put spread on this, and initially there was a profit. We got the trade, and initially there was profit around 1600 rupees. But then again the market moved up sharply, and then the stop loss has hit. So we took a loss of 2000. And for this week's trade idea, and many parameters like option interest, open interest of the options suggest that we might see some sideways market, or even market might go down. And we also see that there might be resistance. Even if market goes up, there is a resistance band around 5,700, 5,750.
10,000. 10,000.
Oh, sorry. 10,750. There is a resistance as well as there's a gap as well. So taking this into account, I'm suggesting a bear call spread. Again, please do your due diligence. Take small positions as if you're taking. So we are suggesting a bear call spread. We are selling a 10,700 call and buying at 11,000 call to give protection to the sold option. So what it does is that it gives an upside protection as well, up to 10,778, and the probability of profit is high, around 70%. And I mean, there is no downside risk for this. So even if it is sideways and slightly upside, and if it's bearish, this will work perfectly.
So as long as expiry for July is below 10,700, this will make profit.
Yes, as 10,007. Yes, exactly. And this is valid if on Monday. It's valid only if it opens around this price band between 10,200 10,300. And we are taking 1-to-1 risk. So we are taking risk of 1. So we exit when we hit stop loss of 5,800, and or we hit the target is 5,800. So this is a slow churning trade. So just keep that in mind. So this is for the July expiry. Okay, so if you have any feedback, just mail us or tweet us to both AP and me. And now I will hand over to AP for his session. Thank you, AP.
Yeah, thank you. I'll take it now. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So since Raghunath spoke about the volatility skew, and since in fact just while he was talking, I realized I didn't have this chart earlier, but then I realized why not show this. He showed that bullishness in Bharti Airtel. So I quickly plotted the 550 call, and yes, it is bullish. In fact, if you see this chart, there was a move from 12 to 29 initially, and then it declined to something like 16 in the last 2 days, and now it has started going up again. So this, any dip in it can be bought with a stop loss below 16, or the worst case stop loss is below 12, the lowest of the series. But however, if it crosses 29, then it can go to even 49. And this is a 550 strike price call, so and expiry is approaching, which means Bharti can go back towards 580, 590 from here in the next 4 days. So this is a trade idea based on earlier didn't have this idea, but based on the volatility skew, I got it plotted just now. This is just one trade idea. So use stop loss and don't trade a big quantity. This is just for a guideline purpose. Now coming to the where is Nifty right now? I found something interesting. In fact, Raghunath also mentioned it based on the volatility skew. First of all, I want to address the issue of what happens to the OI of various strike prices when an uptrend starts. Now, this uptrend has started in the last couple of days around 10,000. And at that time, if you look at this is a chart of all the open interests of 9,900, 10,000, 10,100, 10,200. This is only open interest. Open interest of calls only. So there is one open interest which has gone down sharply, green one. This is the 9,900. Because there was a lot of covering since Nifty went up sharply by almost 200, 250 points in just 2 days. This open interest went down sharply because there was a lot of covering. It also happened in the red line, which is a 10,000 call. It also happened, basically it happened in all the calls, but in the 10,100 and 10,200 calls, it happened only on Friday. In fact, on Thursday, it was rising. They started covering only on Friday. So my question is, people just look at this call covering and think that it is very bullish. For me, it is not like that. I'll show you another chart, which is the open interest of the puts only. This also seems very bullish. 9,900 put, 10,000 put, 10,100 put, 10,200 put. Everything is going up, which is bullish. Because for a stock or index to go up, it needs support from put writers because they give the support from the downside, and then the call writers who start covering, they open the lid and it just flies. So the put writers are also giving support, yes, but the problem is people misunderstand this by looking at only the put option OI change and the call option OI change. No one looks at the put call ratio at the various strike price. This is where my next chart comes into picture. Now this is the put call ratio from 9,900, 10,000, 10,100, 10,200 and 10,300. Now 9,900 is extremely bullish because it is 5.28. That means the number of puts are 5 times the number of calls. Even 10,000 is bullish. If you see on the left hand side, the put call ratio is 2.09, which means the number of puts are twice the number of calls. Now here is the problem in 10,100. Remember, Nifty is at 10,244, which is 150 points above this strike price of 10,100. Here the put call ratio is only 1.17. Typically, this is more than 1.5 or sometimes even 2 with a gap of 150 points. And the next one is even more worse, 10,200. Nifty is already 40-45 points higher than the strike price, and this put call ratio is only 0.62. This should have been at least 1 or 1.1. And 0.62, that means the number of put writers upon the number of call writers, they don't have the confidence that Nifty might remain here at least till expiry. as of now, this is the picture. Now what we have to see is how this changes from Monday onwards. Looking at this data, it is a bit bearish, and definitely there is a huge support at 10,000. But I would go for a pullback maybe from Monday or Tuesday. That is what I think might happen, unless this changes drastically in the form of a gap up, and where put writing is happening very fast in the first 1 hour. If you look at the put chart, yes, that is also very bearish, 10,200 put. So this is not giving a good picture right now. So it depends on how it behaves on Monday morning. So this is a trade idea. This is a 10,100 straddle. Given the assumption that based on these put call ratios that market might come down, so this is a 10,100 straddle. If it goes below the lowest part, which is 305, if it goes below 300, this can be shorted with a stop loss above 330, 340. So very good risk, just 30 points in a straddle is extremely good. And below 300, that means you are protected from 10,400 to 9,800. And as long as it is below 340, expiry will be in that range. And I don't think this will make a loss if expiry is in that range. So this is a trade idea for this week. That's all from my side. And if you look at the put call ratio, I mean the individual call and individual put of 10,200, this also shows the same picture. There was covering in the call, but put needs to be written more, and the call this needs to cross over by a factor of at least 1.2. That is what I meant. So look, keep an eye on the 10,200 call OI and 10,200 put OI going forward on Monday. Thank you. That's all from me. Do you have any questions?
No, I just wanted to check that even the put covering, the call covering is also stopped, and also puts are not aggressively written for this strike, right?
Yes, exactly. That is what I also saw.
Yes. Okay.
So they don't have confidence that expiry might be about 10,200. That is the picture as of now.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all from me.
Yeah, that's all. Okay then. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all.